The Wind River Range of western Wyoming comprises some of the most wild and remote terrain in the lower 48. The CDT follows a route along the western edge of the range, staying mostly to subalpine meadows and forests. Many thru-hikers opt for alternate routes that take them into the higher alpine zones. For thru-hikers with the time, energy, skill set, and ambition, the Wind River High route is surely the most rewarding and engaging option. Traveling through the high country of the Wind River Range requires extensive off-trail navigation, boulder hopping, and snow travel, even in late summer. All of this is well represented in Andrew Skurka's Wind River High Route, an elegant line through the core of the winds that connects the southernmost 13,000-foot peak to the northernmost. A worthy venture on its own, the Wind River High Route can be connected to the CDT in a continuous alternate, with a few modifications. From the CDT crossing at Highway 28, the trail climbs from the plains into the foothills to reach Little Sandy Lake, where a side trail can be used as a connector to the high route. A short and steep gully accesses the high lakes on the southern slopes of Wind River Peak. The summit of Wind River Peak is a prominent position, with the whole of the winds in sight. The descent off the peak is a steep and loose chute that should be treated with caution. Now begins the boulder hopping and route finding as the route travels along Black Joe Lake toward Big Sandy Lake. Here, a well-traveled trail climbs Jackass Pass, the gateway to the famous Skurka the Towers. After the climb over New York Pass, it's a long walk through the wildflower meadows of the Washakie Creek Basin and then the Middle Fork River Basin, to the next pass on the shoulder of Raid Peak. After Bonneville Basin, the next destination of Photo Pass appears in the far distance, past the dramatic profile of Pronghorn Peak. The long trek across the Middle Fork Basin is both scenic and loaded with mosquitoes. After Photo Pass, the route enters the Wind River Reservation for 5 miles, and a permit is required for all travel here. The rocky climb up Europe Peak marks the halfway point. The long north ridge of the peak ends at Golden Lakes. A rather precipitous skirt around Douglas Peak marks the gateway to the Alpine Lakes Basin, a wild place that feels completely untouched by history. This basin's exit route is a steep snowfield to a call between two 13ers that can both be climbed in a good weather window.
Summit of Knife Point Mountain.
Blau Rock Pass awaits at the end of a vast riparian landscape of turquoise streams flowing from each of the 6 glaciers that hang from the divide above. Beyond Blau Rock, the gray spires of the northern winds erupt from the ice, daunting and humbling. The route traces across the Gannett Glacier in the shadow of Gannett Peak, onward towards Grasshopper Glacier to regain the talus ridgeline of the Continental Divide. Downs Mountain is the northernmost peak in the winds and the final high point of the high route. A compass bearing proved useful when crossing the broad expanse of Goat Flat to reach the Glacier Trail. This well-traveled track drops out of the mountains to a trailhead just a half hour outside of the town of DuBois. After a stop in town, the Whiskey Mountain Trail continues north from the Glacier Trailhead over its namesake peak and towards Simpson Lake. The Simpson Lake Trail reconnects with the CDT at the Lake of the Woods. This 25-mile connector allows for a resupply stop in DuBois and a continuous northbound footpath back to the CDT as it continues north toward Yellowstone National Park.